to my channel, Mobility. Today we're going to be going over conditional probability. Let's say that you're taking a test and you're confused because you've arrived at a problem that you don't know how to solve. Here's a trick that I use that always helps me out. The first thing that I like to do is that I like to find my A and my B values. So in number 7, my A value would be black and my B value would be A. Let's do the same thing for number 8, just so that you understand. My A value would be C, and my B value would be white. Now, what am I going to do after identifying my A and B values? Well, what you're going to do is take B into consideration of A. What do I mean by that? Well, how many A's are black in the diagram? If we count, we find that there's only one A that's black, so the answer would just be 1. But we need to have a fraction, so we need to find the total number of B values, which is the total number of A's. So how many A's are there in the diagram? As we can see, there's only 1, 2, 3. 1/3 would be our fraction. And this would be the correct answer, as it's simplified furthest. Next, we'll do the same thing for number 8. B given A over top all B values. So how many white C's are there? As we can see, there's only one white C. So our numerator, again, would be 1. Now, in order to find our denominator, we take this into consideration of all B values. Example being all whites. So how many whites are there in general? As we can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 whites. So our fraction would be 1/6. Next, we'll do number 9. So this one's a little bit trickier since it's giving you 2 options, 2 choices. But don't be alarmed, this is the same thing. So now you have the choice of B and E. So when you're doing this problem, you have both B and E. So again, your A value and your B value. So your B value given your A value. So how many B's and E's are black? So we can see that there's 1, 2, 3. 2 black B's and 1 black E, which is 3. So our numerator is 3. And our denominator is going to be the total number of B's and E's. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3/5. And that's how you solve a problem like this. Next up, this is your problem. So a card is randomly selected from a standard deck of playing cards. Find the probability that it is a face card given that a black card is drawn. So the first thing that you're going to keep in mind is that a deck of cards has 52 cards as your total, if you didn't know. Now we see the black cards. We know that there are only 26 black cards and 26 red cards. And we have to find face cards. In each deck, the face cards would be Jack, Queen, and King, and in each color set, there would be 3 of those, and there's a total of 4 color sets. So that would be 3 times 4, which is just 12. So these are our important numbers that you're going to use in your calculations that I just made clear to you. Now, again, you're going to find your A and your B values. So your A value is always going to have given, right? You know for sure that this is something that will appear. It's something that is a known fact in this probability equation. So what is given to us is that a black card has to be drawn. So we're going to label this as your A value. Now, what a lot of teachers do, which I don't like, is that they tell you have to multiply your A times your B divided by your A. But the problem with that is 2 things. Number 1, your A and your B values are fractions, so you have to multiply fractions by each other. Then you need to divide by a fraction. It's a little bit complicated, and it doesn't make any sense to me, at least, and maybe to you too. So I guess that's why you're here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be skipping all of that. Also, keep in mind that an A divided by an A cancels out. So again, doesn't really make much sense. So again, we're going to be skipping that and doing it my way. So my way is you identify your A value, and that is a black card is drawn. Then you need to identify your B value. I'll switch colors so that it's easier. Probability that's a face card. Finding the probability that's a face card would be your B value. Remember, your b value is the other thing you need to find, which is not given to you. Once you find your a value, it's easy to find your b value. So the first thing that we're going to do is to set up our equation. So we know that when we do the mathematical part, like creating an equation, we're not going to be multiplying anything by each other because this is just going to straight up give us one fraction, which will be our answer. So given a black card is drawn, there will be no mathematical portion, but we need to include it in our fraction, as this is a restriction that will restrict the many amount of choices that we will have. So, given that a black card is drawn, we know that there are 26 total black cards. So, obviously, we are limited to only 26 cards since we know for sure it has to be a black card. Now, in order to find our numerator, which is our b, and our denominator, which is our a, our numerator b, we need to find the probability of it being a face card. Now, you might think that the answer would be 1226. But that's not correct because remember, you are limited to a black card because we know for sure it is a black card. If the answer were 1226, you would be violating what you were given. The answer would be 626 because in each color set there are a total of 2 colors, and in each color you get 6 and 6 face cards. So if we remove all the red cards, that would be 12 minus 6, which just leaves you 6. So 6 is the only value of face cards that satisfy the equation because there are 6 face cards that are black over the total number of black cards, which are 26. Now, you might think that 626 is the correct answer, but it's not because teachers are weird and they're going to take off points if you don't simplify. So always make sure to simplify. When you simplify, you'll get 3/13. And this is your final answer. Now let's move on to a harder problem. This one is a longer word problem. So out of 56 players on the football team, 24 are on honor roll and 18 have perfect attendance. 7 who are on honor roll also have perfect attendance. If a player is chosen at random, what is the probability that they are on the honor roll if it's known that they also have perfect attendance? Remember, we need to identify our A and our B values. Our A values are always given. You know they're given because you know it's your A value because it says given. But in this problem, I don't see the word given. So what do we do? Well, sometimes teachers like to trick us and they won't include the word given, but rather a synonym. So a synonym of given is known. So it is known they have perfect attendance. So this is your A value because remember, known is a synonym of given. So this is your A value. And now we need to find our B value, and this is just the other thing that we're looking for. Our B value in this case would be the probability that they're on the honor roll as well. So this is your B value. Sorry, my bad. So let's start off with our A value. So it is known that they have perfect attendance. How many people have perfect attendance? Well, out of the 56 players in the football team, only 18 people have perfect attendance. So we know we're only limited to these 18 people because they're the only 18 people who satisfy this equation or this condition. So we know that these 24 people cannot be included because they don't have perfect attendance. Now we need to find our B value, aka our numerator. So we need to find the probability that they're also on the honor roll. So how many people are on the honor roll? It says 24, but that's not the correct answer. 24 over 18 is not the correct answer, and let me explain why. Even though there are 24 people on the honor roll, they don't all have perfect attendance. Over here, if you look closely, it says 7 people who are on the honor roll also have perfect attendance. Our choices can only be between these 7 people as they satisfy the equation. They are on the honor roll and they are known to have perfect attendance. So it's going to be 7/18. And this is your final answer. If you liked this video and you thought these tricks were helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions or topics that you need help with, please let me know in the comments down below. Bye guys, and I hope you like this video.